Uncensored, starring Ivan Decker. Please welcome Ivan Decker.
Yeah. Here we are. It's you and me now. That's it. I know, I don't look old enough to be doing this. You must be thinking that. I'll get to that, sir. Calm down. It's very strange. I know I don't look old enough to be doing this, so I've always looked young, and it's always been a problem for me, so I have to come up with ways to look older. So what I tried to do is I tried to grow a beard, which didn't work at all. Because when I do that, I look like a creepy 11-year-old with a gland problem. Nobody wants to be around that guy. I look like the kid that came back to school after the summer of grade 5 and already had a mustache. Everybody's freaking out, like, are you a fireman now? What happened? So I have to shave, and whenever I do, I always try to be very careful, try to be good at it. But sometimes you're in a hurry, and you'll miss a few hairs. And the hairs that you miss are always the ones, like, way the hell up here by your eye. What the hell are those doing there? They don't belong to any part of your beard. And it was like they were mustache hairs, and then halfway out, they just changed their mind. Like, actually, I want to be an eyebrow. I'm going to go for it. I do kind of miss being like a really little kid, though, because when you're little, like, you don't have any responsibilities. You don't have to care about anything. You just go to the playground and run around all day. And I used to love going to the playground, but there's certain aspects of playground design that never made sense to me. Like, I never understood why every playground needs a steering wheel. Like, hey, I don't really want to move at recess. You guys want to do this for 20 minutes? I mean, like, I guess it's there so some kid could pretend the playground is a spaceship and he's going to fly it or something like that. But, like, that's a stretch for the imagination. Even for a kid, it's pretty hard to picture a space captain going like, all right, we're locked into the planet's orbit. You take the curly slide down to the planet's surface. I'm going to get this duck on the spring and search for intelligent life. Oh no, they're firing at us. Evasive maneuvers. Everything's way more exciting when you were a kid, too. Birthday parties are great. Get to go to cool places like laser tag. I went there. You're always really excited the first time you go to laser tag, and then they ruin it when they read you the rules. Because rule number 1 at laser tag is no running. Oh, the one thing you have to do in a gun battle. Like, I'd love to see that happen in a war. Like, oh my God, there's a lot of people coming from over there. We should probably get away. Follow me, stick together, single file. Candy is way more exciting when you were a kid, too. Because, like, when you're an adult, you buy candy, it's almost embarrassing. But when you're a kid, it's like, so great. My favorite candy to eat as a kid was cotton candy. I thought that was great because the concept of cotton candy is so fantastic. It's like, well, I've always wanted to eat just sugar. And I've also always wanted to eat the inside of my pillow, so can we mix those? I didn't even understand how the guy who invented cotton candy sold the first one. Like, hey, listen, I invented a new candy. You guys want to try it? What's in it? Just sugar. No, there's no way I'm going to eat a cup of sugar. That's suicide. All right. Well, what if I turn the sugar into a magical cloud on a stick? Well, all right then. Are there going to be different flavors of this cotton candy? Yes, pink and blue. What do they taste like? Both exactly the same. And there's other issues of concern when you're young, too, like kidnapping is up there, I guess. That's a big one. Like, it is a big problem, but to me, anybody who steals a kid is an idiot. Because you can just make your own. It's not even very hard. In fact, it's so easy, sometimes people do it by accident. I've never made Nanaimo bars by accident. Can't just walk into the kitchen, spill a bunch of ingredients. Oh no, look what happened. We made Nanaimo bars. I don't think we're ready for Nanaimo bars. I'm not a parent, obviously. You can probably guess that. I don't have any kids. I don't look forward to being a parent. But if it does happen, what I would look forward to is becoming a grandparent. Oh, that's going to be the best. Because your whole job as a grandparent is just to make your own kids' parenting more difficult. Grandkids come over for the day, just load them up with sugar and racism. Can't wait for that. The only thing is, like, a lot of people have babies. I've had jobs where people have, like, new kids, and they bring them in, they gotta show them off. It's always the guy, too. He's like, hey, look what I did all the work. But whenever he has a new baby and they bring it in, they're showing it off, whenever they're carrying it, they always carry it like this. This is the action. Do they tell you to bounce it at the hospital? Like, look, make sure you bounce this thing or it's not gonna be able to read, okay? Those are... But they're always bouncing it, and then, like, say you ask to hold it, they hand it to you, the bouncing stops, and it throws up on you. Big surprise. It's not very polite. It's like shaking up a can of pop and then giving it to somebody. But, I mean, you could use it to your advantage, though. You could be like, what, the in-laws are coming over? All right, I'm gonna get this baby ready. I'm 22 years old, in case you were wondering. I live by myself. I moved out of my mom's place a little while ago. Best thing about that is that now I can have a juice box whenever the hell I want. Take that, parents. I don't care if they're for lunches. Oh. I have to cook for myself now, too, which is really annoying. I don't know how to make anything. I eat a lot of cereal. Which is my favorite. I eat a lot of instant oatmeal, but I always used to buy the variety packs of instant oatmeal, which I had to stop doing because I realized the reason behind any variety pack is just to take one crappy flavor and hide it in a bunch of good ones so they can actually get rid of it. Which is similar to, like, whenever you go out to a nightclub and you see, like, a group of the opposite sex, there's always one in the group that's not quite as good as the rest. They make their own little variety pack when they go out. They could be introducing themselves to you, like, hi, I'm Sasha, this is Amber. Oh, this is our friend Raisins and Spice. But I have no idea how to cook, so anything that I make involves a microwave and directions. And usually it's a good hint that you're eating crappy food if you read through the directions in advance, and the last direction is enjoy. Like, they have to remind you. Okay, people aren't really enjoying our product. What should we do? Make it a direction. They'll follow. Thanks, Chef Boyardee. But, like, it's also ridiculous, too, like some of the stuff they still write on packages to try and sell you things at the grocery store. Like, I saw a box of macaroni, had a little sticker on it that said 100% delicious. Really delicious requires a percentage. I'm pretty sure if something's delicious, it either is or it isn't. There's no, like, crappy products out there that are 80% delicious. How's that ravioli? Well, it was pretty cheap, but 2 out of 10 bites taste like garbage. Some of the stuff they write on packages, too, like, I don't understand why they still have a warning label on shaving cream that says avoid contact with eyes. Anybody need this? I'm pretty sure the general population knows not to put things in their eyes. Like, I'm not gonna go and buy a tub of cottage cheese and be like, oh, you know. Doesn't say anything about eyes on here. I like to try new things, though. I went out a little while ago and had bubble tea. The first time. I don't know if anybody's been on that crazy adventure highway. But if you haven't had bubble tea, basically what it is it's like an iced tea kind of a drink, right? Sounds delicious so far. Here's where it gets terrible. I don't know why, but for some reason in the bottom they put these, like, I don't know, turtle eggs or whatever the hell they are. These weird tapioca balls. Yeah, because that's what's missing from your favorite drink. Chewing. Let's make that happen. But the worst part about it is, without telling you, they give you a straw with the exact same diameter of the jelly balls. So as soon as you try and drink out of that straw, it just turns into a cannon, which is aimed directly into your breathing tubes. Like, hey, I found out what makes green tea taste really good. What's that? Choking. A lot of bubble tea in Vancouver. I'm from Vancouver, which is a great place. One person. Thank you. It's a good city. I mean, a lot of people complain about the homeless situation in Vancouver, which I guess, I mean, any big city has a lot of homeless people. I really don't have a problem with it because I know that because of it, we have the best recycling program in the world. Talk to people from small towns. Like, how do you guys deal with recycling in the big city? Well, we have this interesting program where we can throw whatever we want in the dumpster and it gets recycled anyway. Really? Who does this? Is it a group of volunteers? You could say that, yeah. Works quite well, actually. But it is a cool city. I had to buy a car recently because you can't put a price on not taking public transit. Which we have the SkyTrain in Vancouver. Whenever you ride the train, you gotta go on a lot of escalators, which upsets me because there's people out there that get really pissed off if you don't follow the escalator etiquette. You stand on the left side, people lose their minds. Like, how busy do you have to be that you can't stand on moving stairs for 20 seconds? Like, what do you want to do when you get on the elevator? Punch out the ceiling panel and climb up the cable? Calm down. But I hate riding the bus, and I would always complain about it to my friends. I'd be like, it sucks. And they'd be like, there's people in Vancouver that'll defend the bus. They're like, well, Ivan, the bus is just like a car. I'm like, no, it isn't. You want to know why? I've never been walking up to my car and had it drive away without me. I love stand-up as a job. It's the best. I mean, I've had a lot of crappy jobs in the past. I worked in an office before, which is ridiculous. We took a first aid course when I worked at the office, too, which was unnecessary entirely. But I was astounded, too, that I took this first aid course, and there was still a chapter on what to do if someone gets shot with a bow and arrow. In an office? I'm like, hey, man, I'm gonna go make a photocopy. Oh, no, don't go in the copy room. It's been laid to siege by the Romans. We've got bow and arrows, watch out. We had some incidents, we had to put a chapter in the book about it. But like, nobody in an office does any real work, too, so people have to come up with dumb ways to entertain themselves. Like, people in my office would play fantasy baseball, which if you don't know what that is, it's like baseball, but it's your fantasy, whoever's on the team. And people would pick like professional baseball players, which I think is stupid. Like, yeah, I made a fantasy baseball team. Oh, your pitcher's got 47 points this season? My pitcher's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, how about that? Who's your catcher? Johnny Bench? Mine's a dump truck. In fact, my whole fantasy baseball team is just a bunch of hot chicks that don't play baseball and come over to my house. That's a way better fantasy. You're at work, you're getting paid. Stop wasting fantasy energy. I also used to work in a call center for a cell phone company. I don't know if anybody's done that before. That's the worst, working customer service. Because, I mean, the thing is you have to help people who've never had phones before program their phones over the phone. Which is horrible, so you have to sit there and be like, all right, I need you to press 1. I'll be like, which one? It's the number 1. To the left of 2, above 4. You dialed it before 800 to call me. Oh, okay, I pressed it. All right, now press the pound key. Is that the star? No, the star is called star. I need you to press the number sign key. It's below 9. You mean 8? No, not the number below 9, the button. Oh, you mean the tic-tac-toe button. So I don't work there anymore. It was cool, though, because they gave us a cell phone, like a free phone for working there, which is a lot of fun. But the problem is when you get a new phone, the frustrating part is that you have to transfer all your friends' phone numbers over manually from one phone to the other. It takes forever. You get bored. And your friends don't know this, but this is actually the point in which they're all being judged as to whether or not they're going to be your friends anymore. But I quit the job at the call center, and before I left, somebody had left a note on my desk saying that they were my secret admirer, which I was excited about. But then I found out who it was, and I realized that usually when you have a secret admirer, the secret is that you're going to be disappointed. There's nobody that's hot keeps it a secret. That's ridiculous. Everybody's like, shh, don't tell anyone I worked out for a year. As soon as you get that note, your expectations start going up. You're like, why is it a secret? She's probably a spy and has a dragon farm. This is going to be awesome. And you find out who it is. Guess who? It's Raisins and Spice. I know I look young, so I do a lot of immature things. I play a lot of video games, which is awesome. But I have friends that are the problem with playing video games is, like, there's the casual video game player, but then there's people that are, like, way too into it. I've got friends that, like, that's all they talk about. Like, one of my friends is like, man, it'd be so much better if life was more like a video game. Like, no, wouldn't that would suck? So when I come home from work, I want to relax. I don't want to, like, open the fridge. There's a giant spider in there that kills me. And I gotta start the day over again. This is annoying. Oh, Rush Hour. I love this level. This is awesome. I was really good at this before. He's always like, oh, the girls in video games are so hot. I'm like, yeah, who cares? It's not, you can't, like, do a special code and you have to go on a date with them. But there's always that, like, sort of relationship-esque thing. Ever since, like, the beginning, like Mario and the princess, that's got to be a tough relationship. Every time Mario goes to pick her up for a date, there's just a mushroom guy in a bag that's like, sorry, she's in another castle. Go find her. It's the one with the white trees this time. But that's the other thing, too, is, like, it's been a long time since I've been in a relationship. Certain things I miss about it, like, I miss having someone around to get mad at me for something I did to them in their dream. But it's tough. Like, I don't know where to go to try and pick up girls. Like, I go out to nightclubs all the time. There's always, like, tough guys hanging around, trying to push you around. And, like, there's guys that there's no, like, they don't try and pick up girls. They just stand around with, like, a tight shirt and expect them to come and talk to them. I think that's ridiculous. That would be like when you're playing Tetris and you're just waiting for that line piece to show up and save your ass. It's not happening. But, like, these guys always try and pick fights with me. And you can tell by looking at me, I'm getting a lot of fights. More like a beating, I guess. But I don't understand that there's actually guys out there living under the impression that if you see a guy and you like his girlfriend, you can fight him. And if you win, you get his girlfriend. When does that ever work? Like, I can't imagine there's ever been a girl that's like, oh my God, you just beat the crap out of my boyfriend. For me. Anytime I try and talk to girls, like, the topics of conversation are always ridiculous. Like, girls, like, talk about their underwear to each other. I have no idea how to deal with this. Two girls are like, hey, I just got a new bra. It's got little butterflies on it. It's so awesome. Hey, me too. Let's talk about it for an hour. Like, the topic of undergarments never comes up in a male-to-male conversation. Hey, man, you see the game today? Nope, boring. Anyway, how's your boxer supply going? Awesome, dude. Just went down to Zeller's and got a 3-pack. Athletic pouch, you know what I'm talking about. Came in 3 colors, black, gray, and black with a gray waistband. I mean, any kind of confrontation I'm not very good at, especially with girls. Because anytime I'm in an argument with a girl, girls have this trick that they can pull where they just start crying and you lose. Not very fair. So the last time that happened, I came up with an ingenious idea. I thought I'd just start crying, too. I think we're both crying. It's back to square one. Let's do this. But the only problem was, I wasn't upset, so when I forced out an emotion, it was just me laughing in her face. which is never a good idea. But you do have to have a certain amount of established manliness when girls are around. It's impossible. Like, you don't want you to look like a tough guy all the time. But there's certain situations where this is impossible. Like when you're putting on chapstick. I don't care who you are. You can't look manly putting on chapstick. What am I supposed to do? Put it on and punch a guy that's wearing glasses? Like find a sandcastle and kick it over? Walk around threatening people. Be like, yeah, I got soft lips. What's it to you? I could kick your ass and kiss it better. Thank you guys very much. Have a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ivan Decker.